Hey guys, Nehemiah here. The question of today is, does God give grace to all? Does God give grace to all? The short answer is, to an extent. To an extent, He does give grace to all, but He does not give saving grace to all. What the Bible teaches is that two different kinds of grace. There's common grace, which gives us the ability to live, breathe, walk around, time to repent. And then there's saving grace, which gives us the ability to seek God and so works in our hearts and leads us to salvation. And Jesus reminds us of this in John 6 verse 65. And this is what Jesus says: no one can come to me unless it is granted by the Father. No one can come to me unless it is granted him by the Father. And what Jesus is saying here is, man in and of himself does not have the ability to seek God. If we're given an option A or B, and seeking God is either, we will choose the opposite. And that's just because of our moral standing, of our fallen nature. But the real question here is, then how are we supposed to fulfill this directive God gives to all of His creation, that we should seek Him and we should pursue Him, if we do not have the ability? It actually makes, and I've heard this from a lot of people, it makes you say, think that God is unfair and God is unjust. And we're not the first ones to think like that. In fact, this is what Paul says in Romans 9 verse 14. Is there injustice on God's part? And he goes on to answer, by no means. You see, what God does, He never gives injustice to His creation. What He gives is two things: justice to some and mercy to others. But He never gives injustice to any of His creation. And that's why, if you know Jesus, it's not because you're smart, it's not because you cooperated with His grace, it's just because God showed you mercy. And that's why we should just be humbled, and this pretty much leads us to worship Him. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you agree with this, if you disagree with this or not.